Today's Thursday, March 23rd, 2023. I have to confess that I am astonished by just how undervalued we are as a company. For the very first time, I actually opened up a spreadsheet document and started doing research as to what are some of our peers within the Bitcoin mining ecosystem. What kind of revenue, first and foremost, what kind of revenue do they have in 2022? Second, what is their market capitalization based on today's closing price? And then third, what's the relationship between those two numbers? Generally speaking, when you sort of like average it out, all these companies in aggregate trade at about twice last year's revenue. Twice last year's revenue. Stronghold Digital Mining isn't even trading at 1 times last year's revenue. We're at like what, $34 million as a market cap? Our sales last year were over $100 million. We are radically undervalued. And I didn't quite appreciate just how misaligned we seem to be, until I really looked at some of our peers. And I've said before, hey, look, our peers, I wish nothing but the best for them. I really mean that. This isn't about, hey, I'm jealous of their valuation. I want them to keep their valuation. In fact, I want them to be even more highly valued than they are right now. All I'm saying is, hey, wait a minute. We've been left way, way behind. I mean, we're not even trading at, it's just, look, what I saw tonight was just appalling. It was shocking. I'm like, whoa, I need to turn practically like 80% of my focus, 80% of my attention to highlighting this discrepancy, which I believe at this point represents a tremendous opportunity for anyone who's seriously interested in getting involved with saying, hey, I want some exposure to Bitcoin. I don't know about buying Bitcoin directly. Hey, I do have maybe a Robinhood account, a Webull account, an E-Trade account. Oh, name your favorite trading platform account. And I want to kind of get some exposure to this. I really think Stronghold Digital Mining is just radically undervalued compared to our peers. And, we have a lot of room for improvement as a company. But the funny thing is, so do these other guys. It's not like, all these companies are doing radically better than we are. Okay. Look, the crypto winter's been tough on everybody. Okay. From what I've been able to discern, generally speaking, hey, if we traded even at like 1 times last year's sales, I'd be like, all right, well, hey, at least we're sort of in the ballpark. But we're trading at like, 0.34% of, it's weird, dude. It's not. So, and I don't mean to be so informal in describing this way, but this is just a very visceral sort of reaction that I'm having because I just got done crunching some of these numbers in anticipation of maybe being able to say, hey, yeah, we're somewhat undervalued, which is kind of what I thought we were. No, it's beyond that. This is really, really bad. We are like completely just not even remotely being valued at the level that we should be, at least from my perspective. So, the next part of my research is going to be, all right, is there really anything in particular that stands out about, some of these other companies that would perhaps merit, having the kind of valuation they have? And then, sort of like thinking, well, all right, are there areas of improvement that we can maybe focus on that would help close that gap, at least from the perspective of how the market is perceiving us? But just preliminarily speaking, I'm really, I'm very frustrated by what I just discovered, and I'm sort of, and I really mean this. So, like, I'm very happy for these companies, and I want to see them continue to do well. Okay. It's not about, hey, I want them to do poorly so that they're, valued the same way we are. No, I'm saying, hey, we have to figure out how the heck to get our share price up. More importantly, how to get, because, nominal share price is one thing, but really our market cap. How do we get that up to 100 million? And I think short term, that's going to be like my focal point. We need to get to $100 million market cap. And that's not just a matter of pride or a matter of, some vanity number. No, I'm talking about mathematics. Hey, wait a minute. mathematically, something's not making sense here. And so we got to get to work on that. When you look at our revenue, I mean, and again, I'm not going to get into a company by company comparison here, but our revenue actually was very good and pretty much in line with some of the biggest names in this space. There's a company that you would know of instantly if I mention the name. And our revenue for 2022 was not that far behind their revenue for 2022. The only difference that I can really discern is that, okay, yeah, they're projected to, their goal is to grow, to something upwards of 23, 24, 25 exahash by sometime in the middle of this year. And that's awesome. I hope they achieve that. So is that the issue then? Do we need to start saying, hey, yeah, we're projecting we're going to grow our hash rate? Although the truth is we're still trying to digest our hash rate, and we're still trying to legitimately kind of get our finances in order through all the deleveraging that we've done. And look, we needed to do all this. Stronghold Digital Mining is a very, very good company, and we have a lot of things going for us. The stock market doesn't understand us somehow. The market isn't recognizing our value. And I'd probably be saying this if we were trading at $100 million market cap and still felt, hey, I think there's room for improvement. But my gosh, we are, as my buddy Brian on Twitter, he somebody asked, hey, did we beat expectations as it relates to the most recent information regarding Q4 2022? And yeah, I mean, look, I think the expectation is that we're going to go bankrupt. I mean, we're being priced as if though we are going out of business. And we are so far from that. So yeah, did we beat that expectation? Hey, Stronghold Digital Mining, they're going to belly flop into bankruptcy. If that's the expectation, well, we're not going to go bankrupt. I mean, I really believe that. And I think more and more now, it's more of a mathematical thing. It's not even a belief thing. So again, I'm processing this sort of in real time as I speak to you, and it's just viscerally, just shocking to me, just how just how insanely undervalued we are relative to our peers. And I'm very animated to close that gap. And I'm very animated to really kind of figure out a coherent strategy for doing this. It's not going to just be me that does this, right? It's going to be a community effort. And of course, us being able to clock in good results, that's going to really help. But yeah, look at bottom line, we are undervalued. We are grossly undervalued. It's an obscenity. Okay. Well, there should be a warning whenever I go to look at our stock price. There should be a warning saying, hey, do you want to see this? Because it's obscene. Okay. Click yes to continue. Anyway, Bitcoin is back in the $28,000 range. So it seems to have recovered, at least as of right now, late in the day on Thursday, March 23rd. Our stock price was up about, 5% or so today, but 60 some odd cents a share. Yeah, that stock price has a ways to go from my perspective. So, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. But in the meantime, let's all collectively as a community think about what's going on here and what we can do to fix the problem. We can't run away from the problem. We can't be afraid of the problem. We need to run towards the problem because there's an opportunity there. And the opportunity for all of us is to see the value of our shares dramatically increase in value. That's really what's at stake here. So we've all got a vested interest in figuring out how to solve this problem. And the problem is essentially, hey, the market's just not valuing us even remotely the way that it should be. So, okay, I'll leave you with that. I'll see you tomorrow.